Hello, guys, and welcome back. I am finally here. I finally made it. I wanted to wait for this profile to have my three Toon bookmarks in hand and my Toon Kingdom in hand, but apparently getting a Toon Kingdom for a reasonable price is just impossible currently. So I'm gonna hold off on that for now. But I do plan on borrowing one and taking it to locals to see how I do with this deck for the future. But for now, I wanted to show you guys what I was working with and how I was running my very long anticipated Toon Striker deck profile because this deck is so fun. I've been having a blast playing it. It almost feels like overpowered at times. It's weird. I don't know. But man, this deck is fun. All right, so to jump right into it, we do play the 9 hand traps. I'm gonna put the imperms up here, um, because in this format, still, the you still need to play hand traps regardless, because it's either you're playing a pure combo deck or you're playing a control deck, and you want to play the hand traps to have the most effect or benefit your deck specifically. And for this deck, these 9 hand traps, it's more for benefiting your deck personally than for your opponent, and I'll explain why. So you have cards like Effect Veiler. A Veiler is used specifically to go into the access code play to it can clear out games. So I mean that's pretty straightforward, right? Then you have cards like Nibiru, where normally you can Nibiru to stop their play and end their board, but in this deck specifically, you can when you Nibiru, you can Comic Hand the token and go for game as long as your opponent has the token has to be 5,000 attack or more, and that can just clear out a game right there. So you can do really cheesy things with that and cheeky stuff like that. Um, and then imperm is good because you can draw it off the top and then negate a interrupt, and then you can resolve your comic hand. So you can use imperm on either player's turn. So that's the reasons why I chose to play these 3 hand traps over everything else. As you can see, I have Ash Blossom in the side deck, but for the main deck purposes of this deck specifically of what it's going for, these are the 9 hand traps I think have the most impact for the deck itself. And then moving forward, we do play the 3 Ray and 2 Rose. We cut back down on the Rose for this build because we needed to make room for other stuff. So it's the same thing, it's the way that most people are playing this deck anyway. But again, you still really do want to see your Sky Striker monsters to be able to play the game in general. So yeah, that's why this is still the correct number. And then we have the 3 Comic Hand. This card is so broken. It is ridiculous. And not once per turn, Snatch Deal is so overpowered, especially sometimes when they can't respond to it because you're playing Sky Striker. It is so good. And then moving forward, we have Mind Control because we're just taking their board. Like we keep taking their board. That baits all this baits out so many interruptions, and it plays through so much. And a lot of decks, even the rock deck, sometimes can't put up enough interrupts to stop you from what you're doing. And then we play Rhoda, more copies. That's self-explanatory. We play Set Rotation because in this build we play 3 field spells. We want access to our Toon World or Toon Kingdom as fast as possible so we can get our comic hands online. And I don't want the way to be able to get to these. Only way of being between Toon Bookmark and Toon Table of Contents. I want other ways to search for them. So that's why I decided to play Toon Kingdom because we have Terraforming and Set Rotation as well. So Set Rotation is really helpful because we do also play Mystic Mine. And as you know, against some combo decks, Mystic Mine can just be a blowout, and you don't even have to play the game. So yeah, it's like you're playing 3 Mine, it's like you're playing 3 Toon Kingdom. You should always be able to access what you need whenever you need it. That's why this deck is made in this specific way. We play 2 copies of Area Zero. This card is, obviously amazing. I do play 3 in my Pure Striker build, but again, we had to make room for certain cards. And yeah. Oh yeah, it also helps clears out anything that you don't need off of Comic Hand or the Nibiru or the Mind Control. So it does have some niche interactions that do help. Like if you say you extend into something to break a board and you can't close out the game, it can help self-adjust your board back to a normal Sky Striker board. And then we play 1 copy of Afterburners and Jamming Waves. These are here for strictly like flex spots. I was considering more double of Afterburner, and just not playing Jamming Waves at all. But with how much I've seen a lot of popularity between Striker and Elrich and Style Great, and I think Jamming Waves does have a place in the meta right now. So I think 1-in-1 is better just for utility because the obviously Afterburner is better for the combo decks and some back row decks, but Jamming Waves is better for the other decks, the Strikers, the Style Greats, etc. Like I said. Then we put the one Hornet Drone, self-explanatory. It's a starter. We place 3 copies of Shark Cannon still. This card's just good against everything. It's like never bad, I feel like, especially now that you're playing in this build specifically. You're playing the Toon tables, so you're gonna, unlike the previous build, um, you where you have to like really work to get the 3 spells engraved. I feel like unless you open up like Desires, Upstart, Terraforming, you're not getting 3 spells engraved for like a good amount of time. This build, you get 3 spells like that, and you can easily start stealing things. Like turn 1, you can go Toon Table, Shark Cannon one of their guys, summon Veiler, and then just go in because you already have 3 spells for Selene too. So like you can just go straight into access kill like it's nothing almost. So I think that's really, really strong, and that's definitely why I'm playing Shark Cannon at 3. I do not see that changing. 2 Widow Anchor, self-explanatory, broken card, also snatch you when you have 3 spells engraved. And you have to, like I said before, you have to remember, you are going to have 3 spells engraved at all times. So all of your striker cards are super online. So that's why I was considering playing more Afterburners or more Jamming Waves, because they're so strong, because they're just always active. 1 multi-roll, this card is obviously broken. I don't really need to explain it, but in this deck specifically, you can, after you use and resolve the effect, everything's unresponsive. How often is that really going to work? Who knows? But it is broken, the fact that you can do that. 1 terraforming, because terraforming equals area 0, Mystic Mine, or Toon Kingdom, so it put everything online. The new card, the new broken card, Toon Bookmark. This card is disgusting. They're probably saying, Jared, you said this card's disgusting. Why the hell is there 2 Toon Bookmarks in this deck? Well, this card, unlike Toon Table of Contents, has the line, you can only activate 1 Toon Bookmark per turn. Meaning, if I draw 2 Toon Bookmarks, you can't do anything with it. You have a dead one, guaranteed, unless you have this to clear out the dead one and put it to the grave. I don't want to draw dead cards. I want everything in my hand to be playable. And I think that's the point of why I made this deck like this, is because to avoid dead cards. In the previous Striker build, where you have 3 Desires, and you have some people play Foolish Burial Goods, you draw dead cards, and I don't want to be forced to use my Area 0 on something that's dead. I like using it on something that can help facilitate better plays in the future. And yeah, so I feel like 2 Bookmarks is better play set too, but having those 2 in there increases the consistency so much, the fact that you can add extra comic hands to your hand if you already have Toon World or Toon Kingdom. So yeah. Also, it's searchable off of Toon Table. And if you say you have Toon World and Toon Table, or Toon Table, Toon Kingdom, or any combination of the Toon World S cards and Toon Table, the Toon Table can now get you into Comic Hand, which is like super relevant because we couldn't do that before. We just had to raw draw Comic Hand from my previous build. So now we actually have ways to facilitate and more flexibility of our cards of where we can search. And then we have the 1 Toon World. The reason I play Toon World is because we need a way, because we don't want to depend on 1 Toon World or Toon Kingdom, because one might die, because obviously the popularity of Cosmic Cyclone is super high right now. So if we have both, we just play both. Also, Toon World I just mentioned like dead cards that we want to use off Area 0, and Toon World is like the epitome of that card that you want to use Area 0 on, because you get the spells engrave, and you get to use your comic hands, and then in main phase 2 you get to use Area 0 on the Toon World, and that's just like, it's so good because it activates everything that you need, and then you can just clear it off for more advantage later. So yeah. And then in the side deck, we're playing 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Cosmic, 3 Judgment, 3 Strike, and 3 There Can Only Be One. These are all in here in case they make me go first, and you need to play some traps. So you play 9 traps, and then you can swap out the 9 hand traps. So it makes it really simple for side decking for you guys. Like, it's so easy. It's like, oh, okay. Obviously, depending on the matchup, you might want to keep certain hand traps in, so you want to take something else out, like Jamming Waves going second, or this going second. I mean, yeah, Jamming Waves, Afterburners, Mystic Mine. Like, they're not the best going second. You can also take out the whole Toon engine, because it's like 11 12 cards. So you can like, say you're playing against Salad or Elrich, you can put in the 3 Cosmic with all the traps and stuff. So there's like ways to mess around with side decking and how you want to do it. But yeah, that's the side deck. And for the extra deck, we do play the access code Hida Selene package. It's just so good. It clears out games so easily, and you don't even need what's it called? You don't even need a Veiler sometimes. If you can go like Kagari something in the Hida take one of their guys, and then those 2 can go in the Selene, and then Selene goes in the access code anyway. Like, the fact that you can do it without needle fiber is like crazy to me. But yeah, it's just so broken because it's just one extra pop with access code. It's so disgusting. And yeah, so next I played 2 Hayate. I don't think 3 is needed in this build. We also had to make room for others for this package. So I even in my other build, I've only playing 2 Hayate. I don't think it's needed. I prefer 2 Zeke over 2 Hayate, over 3 Hayate, I mean. Especially in this build specifically because you need to be able to link off into Zeke to clear out your zones, because you need to be able to, after you take their stuff and say that you don't kill them somehow, you need to be able to clear off your board to be able to play Sky Striker again. So yeah, then we play 3 Kagari standard, 1 Kaina standard, 3 Shizuku, and then obviously the 2 Zeke. That's I just explained that we need to be able to link off our cards to be able to facilitate our plays if we don't OTK them that turn. But yeah, this deck is super, super good. It excels at breaking boards and destroying combo decks, especially. This deck is so good at killing combo decks. It's also really good at OTKing, like really, really good because of the Nibiru play. And if you open up multiple comic hands, and oh man, you just do so many things with this deck. But yeah, before I end this profile, there's one last thing I wanted to point out. Say you take this deck to a regional or to YCS or whatever tournament you want to play in that specifically has time, because we all know how time works now. It's the end of the phase, etc., etc. So you're playing against, say it's a control match versus a control match. You're playing against, I don't know, let's say Elrich. So some of those matches take a long time. Or a mirror match, a striker mirror match. You want to be able to close out a game through a burn method sometimes, other than Hayate attacking directly because they have to go to battle phase. There's something you can do in main phase now because you have incorporated Toons into your deck. There is a Toon burn card that is relevant. So if we type in Toon, y'all might remember Shadow Toon. This is a card that only requires Toon World on the field, and it just target monster your opponent controls and just burn them for the attack if you have Toon World. So easy to resolve. Because this card exists, you might want to, if you go to an event with a time, or you're playing an online event with time, I am not by any means, I'm going to say this right now, I am not by any means saying stall your opponent to use Shadow Toon in game 3 of time. I'm saying, say it's a control match and the game naturally progresses to over a 40 to an hour time period, depending on what event you're playing in right now. You can play Shadow Toon somewhere in your list, like mostly your side deck, to be able to stop not to stop, but to, in main phase, if time is called, you can go Toon Table, activate Toon Kingdom, and then Shadow Toon them. That is relevant, I will say, and I feel like I want to give that information to you guys. It is important to know in any future competitive events that you guys might be playing, and that's the whole point of this channel. I want to improve everybody's competitive capability for the future of this game, and I like putting information out there for you guys. So yeah, either way, I am super excited to play this deck for when at my locals. When like I said, I already ordered the bookmarks. I'm gonna borrow a Toon Kingdom, and I already have the rest of the deck. As I said, everything was already ordered. I have them right here. Let's see, there we go. I have the Toon tables. I got my comic hands. Toon World's easy to get. I know a lot of my friends open Toon Chaos. I'm just gonna get a rare, and yeah, I'm super excited. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I know this has been long anticipated for the channel, and this deck is super fun. Please give it a try. Leave any suggestions you like in the comments, and yeah, either way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if you found it any way informative or you found it cool, because I definitely would like to be able to get the what's it called, the community tab. I love that tab. I feel like it could really benefit the channel. I have a lot of cool like pictures and stuff I want to post. I feel like that'll be really fun and interactive for you guys, because it's way easier for me to do that. And yeah, so either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.